and I think you're teaching me, it's not the monologue that you want the routine that is workshopped and perfected.
Yeah, the routine takes a long time.
Maybe I didn't have that, but I would say the following. I believe that ultimately, and I don't want to make it the job of the comedian, but ultimately that is what it is teach us how to live with each other and love each other when we have these deep suspicions of each other, right? Because we do have these deep suspicions. And right now, everything that our government is doing, which is holding back more and more and more information, makes us suspicious. Who's really behind this? What's really going on, right? And this is a recipe for another Holocaust. Because if you're asking, well, who's really behind this? I guarantee you one of the answers is always, it's those guys. We are counting on you. And I just want you to know that and how much love we have. And it's why it's not an obligation to stand up for you when you come under fire. Like the whole N-word thing. It's like I posted one picture with my arm around you. Like, any questions? You know, you guys are essential. It's not just that it's fun to go out and have, because it is fun. But the point is, Jon Stewart was doing a real job reporting the news when nobody could report the news. And in a large measure, comedy or MDMA, something like that, is necessary for us to examine our bullshit. And it's not a task for you, because if I say that to you, you're like, dude, you're loading too much onto it. I know how comedians think.
No, it's not that. It's that you really only want to take on subjects that you find fascinating in that moment. Like when you write out ideas, it has to be genuine. It has to be a thing where you're trying to work something through. It can't be an assignment. Yeah. I don't understand a lot of anti-Semitism, and I don't understand a lot of racism. I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense to me.
Because it's not
seems
natural
foolish
to you.
It's also, there's too many fascinating people from all walks of life.
Everyone.
The idea that you would categorize people by what geography they're from or what color their skin is, that to me seems so ridiculous and so stupid that I don't entertain it. It doesn't. It's not a thing that bounces around in my head. So even to workshop it and defend it, to me, it's like, oh my God, there's so many more interesting things about people. What's interesting to me about people is the individual human being's take and the accumulation of all of our takes together where we try to work through this thing. What is this thing that we're experiencing together?
Right.
What is this? What is culture? What is the learned history of all the human beings that have ever lived before us? Like, what is the purpose of our existence here? What is the actual size of the cosmos that we're existing in? Like all of these different things, this finite nature of our existence. What is good about community and love and friendship?
Yeah.
What is good about all those things? All those things are interesting to me. But when it gets to like sexual orientation or color, it's like, who cares? I don't care.
Well, this is what
it's
I said about
humans.
I said, there's no, I didn't want to defend it on any particular thing. My point was, I've never seen any bigotry at all because of this radical love. Sorry for saying it, but like, I know that you love all walks of life. And you don't need anyone to say that. So I was almost embarrassed to say it. But like, to me, we're in an emergency situation, whether you can feel it or not. Like if you look at, there's a guy named, what is it? Oh, he's figured out Leather Apron Club, which is both the name for the junto that Benjamin Franklin established, which is something that we revere, and Leather Apron was the name for Jack the Ripper. So it's very clever, Mott and Bailey, right? But he tracks like how many Jewish people does Joe Rogan have on his program, you know? And it's incredibly important that all of us who are in a position to do this, who don't have to necessarily worry about like our next paycheck at a company, help everyone come together. Because right now our government isn't helping us come together. We're all sort of vaguely suspicious of each other. And nobody wants the assignment, in my opinion, of like doing work.
It's also a very dumb distraction. To be distracted by our differences is so foolish. It's just so unnecessary. Like our differences are what empowers us, because if it wasn't for all the different cultures that exist in the United States, it's one of the reasons why it's so fascinating here is because this is a country of immigrants. You know, with me, it's my grandparents, and you know, with other people, they're direct descendants, or they've come over here from somewhere else. Everyone here is from somewhere else, and we're all interacting with each other. And look at what's been created here. Look at the amount of
And we've succeeded for the most part after a tremendous number of missteps.
yes,
Right. And so partially what you and I are both animated by, which is like, look, we're not even done with the work, but look how far we've come and look at what a shining example this is to everyone else. And this is like, I wish I could communicate, Joe, how much fear I have right now as a Jewish person on Twitter with the well of hatred that I feel coming up, which has been suppressed. And you want to know what I want? I want the anti-Semites to speak up. I want to hear them. I want them to have free speech. You have two choices in a society like this. You can either try to control what people think and what they say, or you can have a cultural penalty for saying something that is horrible. And I want us to have free speech with a cultural penalty for these things, as opposed to having to regulate what you can and cannot say. And this issue, like, I don't know, is it Daryl Davies? You know, like these incredibly commendable, courageous people who wade right into the belly of the beast and bring love. You know, this was the thing that I wanted for Kanye. He was trying to say something else. I don't want him destroyed. I don't want him to continue to destroy himself where he's hanging out with Milo and Nick Fuentes and all this nonsense. He was trying to say Jesus told us to love each other, right? And he was fucking up the message.
right.
And the issue is, I don't want a Jewish black rift in the middle of America.
Well, you don't want any riffs,
Right.
Right? Not just Jewish, but any riffs at all.